Hello everyone, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. I'm here to share with you day 2 of 30 Days of Sketches series 14. This sketch is from the fabulous Shawn Lahr. She is a 2-page sketch creator. She is one of my favorites. She's definitely a go-to when I need a 2-pager up for our series. And I love how I got this in for day 2, because normally it's a little bit farther into the series before we have a 2-page layout to work with, and I know a lot of you love them. So here we go. I'm not going to send you anywhere to go find her. She does have an Instagram account. However, I don't think she's been active on it for a little bit, and it's a lot more of her with her adorable family. So I'm not going to send you anywhere to find her, but if you have questions for her or want to know, you can always take her in the comments of this sketch in the Facebook group, and she will be more than happy to answer anything if you have any questions about it. The one thing I noticed about this sketch is, especially scrolling through, I have, I think, over 100 layouts to share with you today, is that the kind of fanning of the pattern papers. I loved this. I saw it in a few different ones, and so I think you're going to see that as a theme throughout all of these beautiful layouts. And the fact that she has the sizes of what your photos should be, and there are circles, but there's nothing too crazy. So really love this sketch. Super usable, either side, both of them together. I will say most of the layouts, they took on the 2-page design, and I love that. So if that was challenging for you, good job for going for it. And then we do definitely have a few that just went the one side, which is beautiful. And I found a lot of people did pick the left-hand side if they were just doing 1 page. Okay, let's jump in. We're going to start off with Brandy, who has a beautiful layout about being on a farm. She's got that fan pattern papers, really following the sketch very closely. What caught my eye, though, was the pattern paper down at the bottom. This is a great spot to use some very busy pattern paper, so I loved that. And the other one that did the same idea with the farm theme at the same time, just to group these two together, was Sarah, and hers at the bottom has this beautiful cluster of embellishments with the farm, and together these are just fantastic. And what a great option. Farms are busy and chaotic, and so documenting that within this idea of this sketch, I felt worked really well. Okay, up next we have Anne, who did a 1-page. She did the left. Wedding theme, so very light and beautiful and floral. I love how she took this on. I definitely see the sketch influence, especially with the fanning of the 2 pattern papers, and then a nice bold print down at the bottom. We have Eve and Ginger, who just really took it on in a very beautiful and simplistic way, which is their style. I will say both of them have that gorgeous style. And so I saw them together and felt like they just together really kind of took little nods, like Ginger did the flaring of the pattern papers and all of that, and Eve took the idea of that bold print down at the bottom and used it on one side, which I thought was really pretty. But I love them both, and together I see the influence of them, and they are gorgeous. We have up next Pam, who, this is so fun. It's bright, it's bold, it's colorful. I think it's a race is what it's looking like. And I just love how she was able to get all these photos, which was obviously a very fun event, and get it on to a 2-page layout following the sketch in a great way. And then whatever's down at the bottom, which is, I think, the turkey trot. This is the race that they went on. I love how she was able to kind of get that down at the bottom there to document what was happening. Kim and Lori, again, the same idea of taking the nod to the sketch, making it work for them, the number of photos they have, and kind of taking out the circles. Both of them kind of erased that idea and kept it a little bit more linear, which I love, but they do still have the bottom bracket idea, so a little strip of pattern paper down at the bottom. And I think they're so cute, and all these super cute photos of Halloween from Kim's, and I think Lori's is Christmas. So these 2-page sketches are always really great to document events like that. Julie up next, again, she's got a baseball theme. She really followed this sketch very closely. I can see this sketch 100% in her layout. But again, such a great way. Sports, how many photos do you take of your kids at sports, right? 1 million. So this is a great way for her to kind of collect them all at once. Mallory did two different layouts with the same sketch. She did two different versions. One was for her son and one was for her daughter's book. And so I definitely wanted to get these together so you can see they look very similar, but she was able to rotate the photos for depending on which child she was working on. And I thought it was super cute. And I love the pattern paper she's used, and she anchored them both with the same diagonal stripe, which I thought was very clever. Cheryl, I love this. It's so cute, so fun, playful. She kind of took away the idea of having the photos stack on top of each other and kind of just laid them out. So she took the nods. What I see is the fanned pattern paper and the nice big strip down at the bottom. I can see that's what she took from it and then made the rest of it her own. JoJo has gone ahead and done a 2-page, and this is gorgeous. She followed it pretty closely. I see the nods. I see the flaring of the paper. It's beautiful. I love the greens in this and documenting, I'm assuming paradise. I'm assuming this is Hawaii, but this works so well. The lovely Sarah did a 1-page. I think she also did the left-hand side, if I'm not mistaken. And another idea that if you are not a 2-page scrapbooker, that is fine. Pick one or the other side. There's one coming up that she combined them. You just make it work for you. And this is a fantastic example of that. She's documenting, again, her travels, which I always love seeing how she documents that. I'm always inspired by Sarah and her traveling layouts. Louise here has a gorgeous, it's just stunning. And so nature. This is a great theme. She's used a more subtle piece of pattern paper down at the bottom, but it's still there and it definitely kind of gives you that grounding place. She's got the fanning of the pattern paper and then the photo placement, following the sketch very closely there. We've got Carolyn and Shayla up next. They're both, I love these. So they're a little different, but I love how they kind of made it. I don't know if it's the photo sizes. I think they just follow the size very closely, but I find these two similar. So they follow the sketch very closely. However, there's a really main focus. My eye, especially with like Shayla's, goes to that main photo she has on the left-hand side there of, I'm assuming, her daughter. And that's where my eye goes. And then it circles around to the rest of it. And then the same thing with Carolyn. My eye actually goes to the cute photo of the two together up on that left-hand side. And then it rotates through the whole layout, which is the point of that. And again, the fanning of the papers. So that theme is just there over and over and over again. Got Jima here with her always so fabulous, bright and colorful. How many photos did she get on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 beautiful photos on a layout. She's used some beautiful purple to pop out those airplanes that she's documenting an air show, I'm sure. And this is lovely. I see the nod to the sketch down at that bottom with the airplane paper that you see down there. That's her anchoring spot. I can see the influence from the sketch from this. We've got Ellen. She did the left-hand side and rotated it. Gorgeous. Ellen is a digital scrapbooker, and I always love seeing what she is doing with all of that because that's so far out of my comfort zone. So I'm always inspired by her gorgeous layouts. This is fantastic. I absolutely see it. Can you see how it's been rotated? Works well. Up next, we have Cindy. I do believe that this is 2 8.5 by 11s put together, but I love how she has gone ahead and manipulated it to work for her sizing. And then on top of that, she has really big embellishment pieces there, but yet your eyes still go to those 3 main photos, and you have that anchoring down at the bottom. Up next, we have Susan and Brianna, who, I love them both. I love them. They're both very active layouts and what they're documenting. So one is, I think, axe throwing, and the other one looks like a concert. So very fun events going on, and they've displayed that. Susan doesn't really have an anchoring down at the bottom, but yet you can see all the little individual parts and where she placed her photos compared to the sketch. Whereas Brianna does have that anchoring down at the bottom and the fan, and I can absolutely see where all of that's going in. They both took out the circle that's on the right-hand side of the page. They've taken that out and chose to go with a photo and embellishment instead. Helen has a beautiful, bright, lovely layout here. I love this one. I think that having that bold paper down at the bottom, in any way, it's in diagonal in the sketch, but you don't have to. It can be anything you want. And she just has it's Vicky Bouton pattern paper going on there, and it works so well. She's got that circle for the title place. I think that was so genius in Shawn's design, and I think we all did that. We all took that part on. So I do love that, and I just can see the sketch. She's followed it very closely, and it's fun and bright and playful, and I love it. Fatima has done one page. I do believe it is also the left-hand side there. So here's an idea of just taking the one side, following it, and using some gorgeous pattern papers for this super cool kind of vintage looking layout, and having some beers, it looks like, at some restaurant. All right, up next we have Tara's, who followed it again very closely. I do like how on the right hand side she's got that fun cluster down at the bottom. So took away the circle on that side, but added that fun cluster. We have Kathy and Jen, who, different ideas here, right? So we've got the idea of following it pretty closely. Kathy's title is up there with those cute shoes. I'm not exactly sure what they're documenting, but I love this. It's really fun. All the great photos. I'll mention in this one, thank you. If you don't want your photos, the people in your photos shared, if you just put a little piece of paper on their faces, that's perfect, or you can blur them out. It just makes it so I can still share your gorgeous layout, and yet you get the privacy that you're wanting. And then in Jen's case, she has, again, that anchoring paper down at the bottom with those lights. How adorable is that? And then took away the circular ideas by just placing in another photo there. I just love this. She still has the fanning of the pattern paper. If you look closely, it's a little light, but I can see it there. And my favorite part of her sketch, of her layout, is that Christmas tree that is tilted wonky on her layout. I think that's just gorgeous. So great job there. We then have Kristen, who, again, kind of followed it closely. She did, instead of doing a circular design, has that piece, anchoring piece up at the top there. I'm not exactly sure. I can't quite read it, but it's gorgeous. I love that. And then her title is then on the right-hand side. I see the influence from the sketch. She doesn't have that anchoring piece down at the bottom, but it's almost not needed because of the size of photos that she's used. Colleen has done both the sizes here. I love that pattern paper that she's used and has followed it closely, but took away the circle. Her title is in a rectangular shape instead, which probably worked with her theme and what she was going for there. We've got Monica, who went bright and bold and fun and playful. I love this so much. She did take on the circle. She almost mimicked it. So it's like two of the left-hand side there, if you can see that. I love it. I love that bright, bold paper down at the bottom, all those fun arrows mixed with the circles, which was in Shawn's original sketch, as there were some triangles. So she's kind of included it all and just documented, like, how adorable is that little girl. She's just the best. All right, up next is Beth, and this is the one that I was talking about. She took the sketch, shrunk it down, and turned it into a 12 by 12. If you like to document with little photos, this is a fabulous idea, especially if you are not a 2-page scrapbooker. If this is more your comfort zone, this was so clever and I love it. Beth makes some of the most cleanest, eye-popping layouts I have ever seen. And the way her brain works, I just wish I could have an ounce of that creativity. All right, next up we have Lori, and she also did use it as a 2-pager with the theme of Easter going on there. Same thing, followed it pretty closely, anchoring and the flare of the papers. Debbie did just one side of it, but again, with this beautiful, fun, spring feeling layout with that little puppy there, so sweet. We've got Leah and Deanna, who have also kind of gone, so different themes, right? One is talking about being in Washington. It looks presidential, Washington DC type thing. But it's a trip, and Deanna's is also, but she's on a cruise, so it's a little bit more tropical, all of that. Same ideas here though, right? I'm gonna say it over and over again. You're gonna be sick of it by the end of this. That beautiful anchoring paper at the bottom, one's floral, one's that beautiful diagonal, and then the flare of the pattern papers at the side. I love it. Very different looks, but yet they fit the theme of what they're documenting, right? Following the same sketch. We have Scrappy Jenny K up next. I love this. Bright, bold, fun, playful. This is that fun Chamel collection from quite a few years ago now, but I loved that collection, and this works so well with her photos and that circular idea for your title. It's definitely one of my favorite ideas here. We have Mel, who did one side. I love that. Again, tropical, documenting a family vacation there. Sherry also left, like I said, most of us did the left-hand side if we were just doing the one page there. So there's the other option. Love them together. Do you see how between Mel and Sherry's, like, just by changing the pattern papers or whatever, you still have the same idea from the sketch, but the different looks you can get. Sandy and Debbie are up next, and again, just following. I love how in Sandy's, which is this fun Halloween pumpkin carving one, she has taken out the spot where a photo would be and put that fun little pumpkin on the right hand side. Just a nice little nod to the season there. And then I like how on Debbie's, that lovely large photo on the right hand side to kind of help highlight the documenting this adorable dog there. Helen and Jackie, again, I love this. So we've got the same ideas. Everything's the same here, right? We've got the anchorings, we've got the flare, multiple photos, making it work for the themes that they're trying to document. I love it. I love it. Helen's that little bird up at the top right hand, and I love in Jackie's with that heart to kind of highlighting the bottom. I think she's documenting Taylor Swift, so all you Swiftie fans would have noticed that right away, but it's fabulous. Marilyn and Tina. All right, let's talk about these. They're both a little bit different when you look at them, right? You see the sketch, I see the influence, but they've kind of stretched them out one way or the other. I find with Marilyn's, hers looks a little bit more like, I don't know, like her photos are smaller maybe. So there's like a larger bulk down at the bottom with the pattern paper. I love that though. So sweet. Look at these adorable photos. Babies get me every time. And then Tina's is almost like more where she's kept her photos a little bit larger. She did take away the circular element in hers, still having the flare and the base paper down at the bottom. But I love this. Tina's makes me smile, just the way she's kind of, I think it might be actually her photography skills, but I love it. There's angles to it, and she filled out the page with her sketch. Alma's is another bright, fun, and playful one. I love that. We really all just kind of followed this sketch very closely because it's so well created. Here's Denise's with a Christmas one. Thank you for taking out those photos you don't want us seen. I love how she's gone ahead with her subtle nods to Christmas, right? She's got that red plaid at the bottom and the green at top, red and green Christmas. Adorable little photos going on there. This perfect. Casey has done the right-hand side, so she flipped things around on us, which is great. I love how she almost has a 50-50 design going on with hers. It's beautiful. So nods, I can see it, especially with those two little 2x2 squares or 1x1 squares, whatever those are. I love how she took that on in the sketch. We haven't seen a ton of that, but it was nice to see it within hers. Nadine did take it on. Hers is very close to the sketch. She just took out the circles. If you look at it, she didn't, and instead of fanning the papers, she just has the red on the sides, but they're not kind of like tilted. So if you are a very linear scrapbooker and you don't like when things are off kilter or anything like that, Nadine's is a great example of how you could do that. And again, another sports event, so that's perfect. We have April Lynn and Tracy, and I love both of these. Thank you for covering up your photos. We've got another sports one, and then it actually looks like they're both sports events going on there, and just some more examples of how you can use that sketch in more of a muted tone, right? They both have, I mean, I get the red isn't muted, but they've kept it to very one or two colors and that was it. They kept it muted in that sense, and I really loved how they were able to make that work. Amanda with her beautiful and floral. I love this. I'm assuming documenting something a couple-ish, but it's gorgeous. The flowers, the pattern papers, that purple, it's very, very beautiful. And you can see the influence. Took away the circular element in her title, yet she's got that beautiful bouquet of flowers at the top, which almost kind of gives you the same idea. Delis and Terry here. It took me a moment to realize they are different papers, but I love how they both have the rainbow going on in their themes. One is about Easter. One looks to be about celebrating a sports event of some kind. I love this. Jo, again, just following the sketch and letting it do its job. Sandra and Beth, so cute. So we have one that looks to be looking at reindeer, so a winter type theme. Maybe it's sheep. I'm not exactly sure. That's not reindeer. Maybe it's sheep. But I love that. And then a Beth with her baby theme layout. I love how she's used those little, I can't think of what the name is for them, of course, right now, but the little photo stack things. Oh my goodness, reels. That's not it either. Film, the photo film bits as her flaring. I think that's beautiful. And then we're gonna see, we've got Kathy with a boy layout. Look at this great boy layout. She reversed. Can you see that her title, she's flipped where the photo is versus where the title is. I love how she did that. She made it work for her, and the way that the photos were looking, she wanted it to be in that orientation, and I think it worked really well. This looks like she's taken her photos and kind of blown it up a little bit within this sketch, so she's got more real estate for her photos other than the embellishments. Lori with another Easter layout going on here. I think we've had a couple Easter layouts. They are a great thing to document because you're Easter egg hunting, right? So of course you've got tons of photos of all your kids doing all the things. We've got Kim who did one side here. I love this. Look at that bright coloring going on there. And then instead of a circle, she's got that fun little diamond for her title. Shawn and Karen, these are fun, you guys. They're both just a little different, and I love that. I love how these kind of, I'm just going down the list in the comments, but how they kind of got grouped together and not on purpose. So we're documenting Millennium Falcon at Disney, wherever they're at, Disneyland, Disney World. And then another one documenting about a family member. And I love it. So there's a bit of like, you know, masculine bits to both of these. And in Shawn, how she has the circles going on, but it's almost like everything's been kind of rotated, but it's still 2 pages and there's still the anchoring. I love that. And that anchoring paper is a bunch of words. How smart would that be to have your layout, and even if you just did a 1-pager and you have all those word phrase stickers that you don't know what to do with, use them as a little strip. That's genius. I love that. And then Karen's with that beautiful pattern paper arrow that makes your eye move throughout. I really love how that worked. And her photos match the papers that she chose so well. It's just very well done. We then have Ginny and Sandy. So Ginny's is very fun and playful and bright. She has changed up the idea of where her photos are placed, but I see that anchoring paper there, and I get the point of where she was going with it and the nod that she took from the sketch. That's all you need. You don't have to follow the sketch exactly the way you see it. You get to do whatever you want. It's your layout, it's your papers, it's your photos. And so just take one little thing from this, the fact that it's multiple photos, but that anchoring paper down at the bottom is what I think she probably took from it and went from there. And then we've got Sandy, who, I love this train layout. It's great. She's used all these fabulous papers to go with it and made it work for her. Sandy is the queen of making things, looking at things once and then going from there and just making them work. I love the torn papers that she's done off of that. I feel like it's a great way to kind of document what she's talking about. We have Gail and Christine. Again, these both look fun and playful, summer feeling going on there. Just kind of following. Christine's is following the sketch very closely. Gail kind of took out that bottom and just kind of took the idea of the placement of the photos, turned it into the 2-page. But I love how she's got that sun peeking up above her title there. So I see the nod to the sketch, and I love that. We then have Angie, who has a beautiful Halloween theme layout. This is so well done. I love it. She really followed it very closely, and I like how she's gotten a couple extra photos. So she's got an extra little square photo going on there, and she's kind of expanded it a little more, took away the idea of like the flaring of the paper type thing. It's fabulous. We've got Mackenzie or Mickey. I'm not really sure which one you prefer me to call you by, hun, but we got that going on. So she did a one side, and you see the nod, the flare of that paper. I saw that a lot. So this is really cute. Janet, I love this. So she kind of flipped it on its head a bit, right? Like the pattern paper is on the left-hand side. That's her own thing, which I love. And then she's got the idea of the sketch with the photo kind of placement going on, but she's absolutely made this her own, and the photo sizes that she wanted and the journaling she wanted to use. And I love how she was able to kind of manipulate this to work with her style and what she wanted to document. We have Wendy, who did a 1-page. I love this, you guys. Wendy makes gorgeous layouts. I always am very drawn to her layouts as well. I'm loving the nod to the title area with that rainbow at the top. That's what I see there. I can see where she's gone with it, the flaring of the paper, all that good stuff. But that rainbow there is definitely where my eye went, and where I'm like, that's probably where she finished off or started with, was the idea of having that above her photo. We've got Kathy and Joanna. So Joanna hasn't added her photos, which is great because she doesn't want them shared. They're not, but you can see she's went for a little bit more of a linear idea. Again, the sun on top of the title, which I love there. Fanning of the papers, the base, it's all there. Same with Kathy. She's got a lovely base down there with that little postage stamp pattern paper, documenting all these gorgeous flowers, a bit of the fanning of the paper, and the title where it was. We then have Diane and Nifa, and I thought this was funny how these lined up next to each other as well. They kind of both have the same, that yellow was both present in them. But look at how different Diane's is. She's definitely made it work for her. She's combined them. She's got the arrows from the sketch. She's got the circular element, the idea of your title in a circular or a half circle dome type idea. I love this. She absolutely made the idea. She's documenting band, drumline. This is fabulous. I just loved how she made that sketch work for her. And then Nifa with the idea, she just followed the sketch very closely, but I love the little umbrella where her title is. I think that's just really cute. Anna here, so we are doing, I think, a grade 6 graduation is what this one is all about. Look at those beautiful soft colors. I love this. She took away where the title part would be and added an additional photo there instead to work with what she had. Melody and Sarah here. So Sarah's, it looks like it's a 1-page there. She used the left side only, but I love that. And you see how she took that piece of notebook paper with the little button. You see that little influence from the sketch, and I loved that. And then Melody's is, again, we used a rainbow instead. I've seen that a couple times now, right? The rainbow idea with the anchoring paper and the flare of the pattern papers. Frances and Sharon, let's see here. We've got, it's kind of rotated on Frances. The title is on the right-hand side instead, so she did kind of flip it. So that's fun. I think that's the first time we kind of saw that. And then Sharon has what I think is a Christmas layout. Yep, the ho ho ho, it's gotta be Christmas, and just followed it very, very closely. I love that. Gloria and Pamela, we've got, again, both of them look quite tropical, but vacation theme going on here. Gloria's, I love the different twists she put on hers. It's kind of like it's rotated, but then stacked on top of each other. It's fantastic. And Pamela followed it very closely. I love the banner with where her title is. I thought that was very clever. Jessica and Crystal. All right, so Jessica's is again, we're following it. We kind of took a little bit out of the right hand side because those probably the photos that she had. I'm loving her clusters down by her anchoring paper though. I think that looks so well done. Flaring of the paper, it's all there. And then Crystal with her bright and bold, she is all about bright bold colors. She's fabulous at that. And following it, her title's down at the bottom instead, but it all works. She's used different papers and it's all combined together, and I just love that. I do love that on her right hand side everything is clustered together, and that one photo is kind of off-centered. It's brilliant. All right, we've got Susan who did a 2-pager. Look at that little guy. He's adorable. I love this. You can see all the nods going on there and getting all those photos used up. Perfect spot for journaling. Beautiful. We've got Iris with, it looks like another travel theme layout going on. And again, the film strip as that second piece of fan pattern paper. Annette and Diane, again, let's see, we've got a fun outdoor, hanging out outside type layout going on. And then this one looks to be a little bit more like at an event of some kind. And she didn't have all the photos. So instead she's got a place for her journaling. And then those 2 little square pieces that she used with the embellishments. I thought that was very smart. And I like how she actually fully separated them into different squares instead of linking them together. I really like the way that she did that with hers. Rachel's layout here, which is fun, Titanic themed, right? So she's got that great background paper that she's found, the anchoring, the flaring of the pattern papers, it's all there. She kind of took away the circular element to it, but her title and journaling are still in that same place compared to the sketch. We have Deborah and Julie. Oh, I think you're Julie, right? We've got did they both do the left-hand side? I think they both did left-hand side. So 1 page each. I love this. Deborah's caught my eye right away. That sun with that title, I love it. I love it. But the bright colors and all of that. And then this one, I love how she's kind of, she's documenting that fun little collar that I'm assuming she probably created, and I just thought that was really cute. And I love how she's made it work for her and her style, and I can see the nod to the sketch, and this is a great way to document creating something that isn't scrapbooking. Susan with another great baby layout. Look at all the baby photos. And I love her play on words there. So she wrote, "You are my sun," S-O-N, shine. I thought that was adorable. She followed the sketch very closely, but then got all these extra photos in, which I love. And Susan is also another very eye-popping, eye-catching designer that I seem to stop in my tracks when I'm scrolling and see her layouts. We have Christine who did a 1 page there. Now look at this. She only has 2 little tiny photos, and they're not tiny. They're what, 3x4, 2, yeah. I love this. She's got that anchoring paper down at the bottom. She's got the circular part where her title is, and then she's left the rest to just be and breathe. I see the nod to that sketch, but she's absolutely made this work for her and what her style is. Maybe she's a more simplistic scrapbooker. I don't know. I love this, and I am so excited that you decided to share that because it's so different from anything else that we saw. Amanda and Lori, again, got all those great photos used up, just kind of working with a sketch and making it work for them. I love it. I love the little banner up on Lori's there, and Amanda, I mean, how adorable are these photos? But I like how she's outlined everything in that brown color, and then even the fanning of the papers, it's so cute. And then all the little dump truck things, so cute. My little boy was all into that as well. Oh, the memories. Up next, we have WM and Esther. Okay, let's have a look here. Look at Esther has done with those arrows. So she really took that idea on, which I loved. And again, we've got a Disney theme going on here, documenting being at somewhere. I'm really bad with my Star Wars, so Starfleet is what it says. Love that. I love the different designs. I love that pattern paper. It really gives off that almost like Millennium Falcon type vibe, right? And then I would flip up back. So now we've got what Harry Potter is universal, right? And I love how that she's got, again, the idea of the two little squares with an embellishment versus the photos. And you kind of see the idea. She's kind of kept a little bit more minimalist with the fact that there's not another background paper there. She's done a bit of stenciling in the background, and she's got the anchoring paper there. So I love that. We have, her name is Lisa Mama, and I love this. Thank you for blocking out those photos you don't want shared, but kids, friends all together, which is always such a fun thing. And just really following the sketch very closely. And I love these papers that she's used. They're beautiful. Darla used one side here and birthday themed. Love that. 18. Oh, that's a big one. I love that down at the bottom she's done the fringe look. That was really cool. I kind of took that idea when I saw this. I was like, oh, that's so smart. So I love that little detail there, and that she just was able to make those couple photos work, kind of have fun play on the little smaller ones and all the fun embellishments to give off the birthday theme. Joanna and Renee here, completely different layouts, right? So Joanna has really followed it pretty closely, took away the circular elements, but the rest of it is there. It's again a birthday party going on, anchoring paper, the side papers there. They're not flared, but they're there. And that background watercolor paper is just beautiful. So perfect. Documenting an 8-year-old's birthday. So that is great. And the Renee's is bold and like documenting cookie time, which is really fun. But I love how she's also like rotated it and then kind of stacked it on each other, if that makes any sense. I really love how she's taken this on. Main photos are in the center, and then the other elements are out to the side, which I thought was really neat. But I absolutely see that influence from the sketch and how she's manipulated it to make it work for her and her style. We've got Lynn and Joyce up next, and we've got baseball theme. So this is our third or fourth sports themed layout. So that worked well. Again, it's different. It's not exactly like the sketch. I see the nod to it. I get where she took the influence from, but she made it work with her. She had different size photos. She wanted to document the different boys within, and I think this worked so well. I love the papers. It's perfect. So a great job. Even in her note, she said, I use it as a jumping off point for my double page layout. And I see where she took that little bit and made the rest of it work with her. And then Joyce, look at where she added the state that she's documenting. And yeah, that's what she's, oh yeah. And use that as her title instead of a circular element or anything like that, just the shape of Michigan. And I think that is genius. I love that anchoring paper. She's got that fun boat design going on. It's fantastic. Sue has done a 1-page. Again, probably the left-hand side is what it looks like to me. I love this. How cute is this? Luck of the Irish type St. Patrick's going on there. So cute. I love all of the little lucky clovers, the flaring of the paper, that anchor paper down at the bottom. It's fantastic. We've got Sue and Kathy here. Again, very different looks. So Sue's is a Christmas layout, so it would be. It's a little bit more on the cooler side to it, but she's got all the main photos. She included that circular element to that bottom photo, which I loved. So she's really followed this sketch very closely. And the one thing I really love about hers is the adding of that little ornament there by her title. I thought that was very cute. And then you go to Kathy's, that's bright and bold and documenting all those lovely drinks that are going on where she is. That looks like fun. I want to be wherever that is. And I love it. The papers are bright and bold, match the color of the drinks. Again, rainbow as that kind of half dome title idea going on. It's fabulous. And we're going to wrap up with Chrissy. And I think this is so sweet. She's very much followed this sketch almost to a T, which I love. That pattern paper down with those scissors, so using kind of a bolder print. I love, such a smart idea. Half dome with the title going on. She's got a circle around it. And look what she's documenting. She's documenting her own scrapbook layouts. And I I love that. I was so happy that that was the one I got to wrap up with. That was the last one in the comments. So there you have it. All of the sketches that were in for day 2 with that fabulous sketch by Shawn. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. And I hope you got some enjoyment out of this. If you want any more closer, like in-depth look at any of these, please head over to the Facebook group. It's going to give you the chance to scroll through on your own and have a look. But I know you love it when I do it too. So a little bit behind, but it's all good. We're going to do this and see what everyone thinks. Let me know what you thought about this format versus the one from day 1. Again, we will find a happy medium and try and get to that sweet spot. But knowing what you prefer is helpful. So please let me know. I'll see you all again soon. Bye, everyone.